Alright, let's go. Alright, so Schmo says, let's go. Wednesday. That's where we're at today. So yeah, I had a good weekend. The main part of this video is going to be about my UFC Chicago in-person graphing haul. Like I said in my last video, I was just disregarding some of the thoughts I had. I'm just going to show up. So that's what I did. I showed up. Nice and easy ride down there. Maybe just over 2 hours. Should have been like 155, but ended up being a little bit over 2 hours with a couple slow spots on the way. Nothing major. Thankfully, I was so thankful for that amazing day. As far as weather was just freaking immaculate. Just a typical summer day. I think it's summer already, right? Summer on the calendar. So yeah, it was good that way. And I just took what was it, 90 or whatever, 94 all the way through into Chicago, just on the outside of the city. Got off on like this Ogden exit, about 2 miles south on there, and then it was a right-hand turn right onto the street that the United Center was on. They had I think it's UFC238 in Chicago. It was the Cejudo versus Marlon Moraes fight, with a girls title fight, and then the Cowboy Cerrone Tony Ferguson fight was like the third to last fight, which was everybody's most anticipated fight. But Henry Cejudo just delivered bigly. So that was a really, really good main event. But across the street, right across the street from the United Center, they have a parking lot. I think it's called Lot C, and that's where they had this UFC fan experience. They had appearances by maybe 8 or 9 fighters, and there was like 4 of them that I really wanted to get cards done by. So I took this piece of cardboard I have here, put a bunch of cards on it with the tape, and I had another one. This is a guy here I didn't see that I was hoping would just kind of be walking in the United Center. I wasn't sure how well attended the fan experience would be. Maybe he'd be walking through there. More UFC guys would be walking through there. So I had a small stack of cards like this, maybe like 10 cards of guys that were like in town with other fighters or commentators, and none of them were at the fan experience. None of them were outside the United Center like I was kind of anticipating or hoping for, being prepared for. But got right down there, got off the freeway, like I said, got right on the street, and as I park, I'm seeing the United Center only like 2-3 blocks away, and then I'm seeing these areas to park. There's no cars there, right? And says no parking during the week, or like limited parking during the week for hours. And then on the right hand side of the pole, same pole, so on the left was this like weekday parking rules, and on the right was this tollway zone rules, and it said no parking for United Center events, except if you're a resident. Well, I'm coming down from Wisconsin, I'm down in Illinois, so I'm on foreign turf, and wasn't sure like what qualifies as the event. Like, do I have to be out of there by 5:30 when the fights start, or do I have to be out of there when the parking lot's open for parking? So I was really, really confused. But first appearance was at 1. I was down there at like 12:30 or 20 to 1. I was there really early, so I parked there, figuring that it was fine, since it was like 4 hours until the official event. So I got over by the fan experience. They hadn't really let anybody in yet. They haven't let anybody in at all yet. So we all kind of lined up. I lined up over by the Corey Anderson's area. They had kind of 2 entrances. One was more eastward, and one was flowing in westward. So they were kind of merging together right into the center where this fan experience was, right across from the United Center. So I got in there. The UFC was great this time. All the people were on time. So Corey Anderson was my first guy. Corey Anderson, you guys remember, had this card sent to me saying that he would not sign for me because he had signed for me in the past, and he would sign for a fan, but for a price point or sale point or profit, he would not. So P.S. Thanks for the card. I hopped right in Corey Anderson's line. I saw his wife. His wife's name is Jen. She used to train my son Isaac back maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So I saw her there as I was kind of going through this short 10-man line, and waved her over and gave her, I think I gave her one of these cards in a top loader, and talked to her for a bit, and then went and you know, kind of had a little icebreaker with Corey as I walked up, but he was super chill. I had 4 cards done on the board. So I had this Bloodlines insert, this flag insert, talking to him a bit about how proud I was of his success and how I was at his fight in Vegas at UFC 191 when he fought this this Polish Jan guy. Started talking to. I said, "Hey, can you do Beast and 25/8 on one of these?" And he's like, "Yeah, I changed it up." So a few of these he did, like this one he did Beast and 25/8, and I'm using the Bic, and then this one is OT. This one was Beast and 25/8. Just really good guy. Got a good photo with him. What's this one? Must have been a short little OT for overtime. So that was no hassle, no sweat. I didn't bring up the letter. Just didn't seem appropriate. Just had a good, you know, 30-second chat with him while he signed my cards, and was totally chill. Everything was really, really cool. So yeah, that was that. Shook his hand a couple times and was on my way. So then I was done really quick with that, and I'm like, I think I went and took a picture of the new UFC belt. I did this the Conor, you know, Vince McMahon $1 billion stroll. That was pretty cool. They were giving away these card case wallets, or not card case, smartphone case wallets. So I put one of these on my phone. I have an extra one. These are really slick. So now I'm kind of always checking my pockets for my check card and ideas, but that's all I carry is my check card and ID. I don't carry cash or a wallet. I'm married with kids. What do I need a big wallet for? So yeah, now I have my card and my ID on my phone, so I have to keep reminding myself when I can't find it that it's actually on my phone. So yeah, I started asking people about my car. So I actually walked back to my car and I'm like, do I move it and go try to find parking further away? Talked to like a security guy at the United Center lots, and he wasn't sure. Second time, I think I stopped and chatted with like a uniformed like street jockey, I guess you can call it, like an officer in training or something, and they felt like an hour before the event, around 4:30. So I said, crap, screw it, I got like an hour to burn. Lines weren't long or anything like that, so I had to wait for Stephen Wonderboy Thompson at 3. There wasn't anybody else I wanted to get, so I ended up moving my car like 4 or 5 blocks north to where the signs for tow-away zone finally stopped. I found some really sweet parking, and there was no signs about tow-away or limited space, and it wasn't actually parallel parking. It was actually like angled parking, facing back where I came from, so that worked out really slick. And I walked my way back. So yeah, I hooked up my buddy with, I had a fighter take a selfie of themselves and then sign it with the edit mode. And I sent them that since they didn't have any UFC promos or tables to sign at. So they would sign whatever you brought, but there was no handout. So that was a little bit of a bummer because I was going to hook up a few people with promos, if not keep one for myself. So I hooked up Don with that, and then just kind of hung around, and then went up with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I met some guys. They actually joined the TTM MMA group. They're actually from Kenosha, up here near me, but we're from Illinois originally. Just struck up good conversations with people, and that's another good thing about keto, is it just really lifted my brain fog and allowed my personality to come out more. So I am more outgoing and conversational, and I guess you could say quicker on my feet. Usually my conversations are a little bit struggled, I guess you could say. Not struggled, but you know, just not super outgoing when I got this brain fog and sugar haze and wheat belly. So yeah, we all got in line. 3 of us got in line for Wonderboy, and then got through the line like 20 minutes at the most. And the icebreaker with Wonderboy was like, hey man, I had almost both sides of that cardboard filled with his cards. I said, no, this is a lot, but hey, I got this letter here that came back like almost 3 years ago that said that you weren't going to sign your fan mail anymore, and that you were just signing at sponsored events, and that one day you'd be lucky enough to meet me. And he laughed about it, and I said, you know, I said from what people tell me about you is that you're super nice, you would never do something like that. And he's like, yeah man, I would never do something like that. And he kind of laughs about it, and so maybe it was your dad who wrote it, because I thought he helped with the fan mail at the Upstate Karate. And he's like, no, my dad's handwriting is actually really, really bad, I don't know who wrote that. So I'm thinking it was a clerk or his sister, but he ended up signing this letter for me at the end. He got a big kick out of it, and as I'm talking to him, like, hey, you know I have a lot of cards, but he's like, man, I got you, man, I got it. and he just threw down autographs on all my cards. It was super nice, and made me a huge fan of him personally. His fight style's a little bit tentative and awkward, but the guy was just freaking amazing, like everybody said. Just the super nicest guy. Got a couple hugs out of him, and shook hands and wanted to say goodbye. He's like, hey, let me shake your hand again. So we shook hands and, did the bro hug thing too. It was super legit. So he hooked it up on all 11 of my cards and the note. He really liked this one a lot. Maybe he really likes his body and the way his blue eyes pop on this card. So yeah, let's get through these. So yeah, I really did just nailed it with this guy. He was just awesome. I actually gave him a little stack of cards on this Modelo table, and then I said, hey, these are for you to keep again, like you kept the other ones. And I said I actually gave more to cards to people in line, including the guys I had met that were behind me. I gave 2 each to them, and then I gave 2 more out to somebody else who got a kick out of me having cards on my on the board. People were seeing what I was prepared to get done, and they were getting a kick out of it. Many people had no idea there was such thing as UFC cards. So I was kind of doing some advertising for Topps, so I feel like they owe me. These will be replacements. That one and this one. I think these 3 right here are all upgrades to beat silver marker autographs. So that's that. And then this is the newest one. The 19 knockout, and then the 18 chrome is just awesome. So again, Wonder Boy is the frickin' man. Super nice guy. One of the nicest guys and most outgoing and interactive guys. But again, I'm just so glad I'm on keto because I was able to just be in the zone, be locked into the conversation. And after that, I cruised over to Curtis Blade's line. He was a little bit slow, like here. I gave him this one of these cards and a top loader to keep. Said, hey man, you got the nicest autograph in MMA. He's like, oh yeah? He goes, all that private schools paid off. And it's true. Private schools still do cursive, whereas the public schools, they do not. I have a signed 7th grade roster photo of my team, the team that I coach, and every kid printed. Nobody had any actual signature or handwriting. So I had 3 of 3 from Blades, and I had gotten a collegiate wrestling pose with him. You get down, you're going to face off. And then right at the end, I think I had an hour left, and I had these cards just in case I was going to go through the line for Chris Weidman. I had met him last Chicago event. And I didn't freeze when I got up there, but he wasn't as like, yeah, no problem, cool, when I showed him the 4 cards on my board to get signed. So I kind of was taken back with that because I was planning to get his the All-American inscription on all 3 cards, and then Team Longo, his coaches, his coach is Ray Longo in New Jersey or New York. And then just with the way he responded, I only asked for the All-American on 1 card, and it was a top one I pointed to, which was this one on the 19 knockout. That you'll see, I should have asked for it on this card or both and not cared. But see how they got the American flag. It would have been sick to have the All-American inscription on it. This was the one I was going to get Team Longo on. He just kind of quickly signed that one with, and this was like what, a 15? Yeah, 16 knockout. But I was in my mind thinking I don't want a photo with him. Actually, one of the Monster energy drink contract people was like, no more autographs. And that's when I was like 15 minutes back in the line. I'm like thinking, yeah, right. Photos only. I'm like, I don't want a photo. I got a photo with him already. So when I got up there, I said, hey man, I don't need a photo. But I was trying to get a shout out from my buddy Tommy. You guys remember Ace Deuce X90 or whatever? Chris Weidman is a local New York guy just like Tommy. So in my mind, I'm like thinking, I'm going to get him to do a shout out just to Tommy. So I had the selfie thing all set up, the camera with the video pointing backwards. And while he was signing, that's kind of what I had in my mind after I had only asked for the inscription on the one. But he hooked it up with a shout out to my buddy Tommy. If you see me on Twitter, at DEEAKAY 316, I posted it on there to Tommy, and he hooked it up with a good shout out. I just forgot to tell him that Tommy is a big fan of his, and he's Tommy's favorite fighter, and I forgot to say that, but he just did it as a shout out, talking about how he wish he was back in New York, not with these deep dish people. And then I put the camera on me. he said, you know, he said more than that, but then I'm like, yeah, and he's here with the cheeseheads or whatever, because I'm a cheesehead, you know, I'm from Wisconsin. So that was that, guys. I think I got 22 cards, and then the notes just as kind of like a joke, as just a memento. So yeah, that's it, man. Just had a blast. The drive home was even quicker because it was, you know, not coming down in Chicago traffic. In next video, I do have to get through this 21 card purchase here, and then I have this stack of TTMs and trades to get through. So I might just burn into that right after dinner. Maybe I'll change my outfit or something. So no, I won't. I just want to get through this stuff so I can play with my cards. I can put them away. Oh, speaking of which, right here, I went to get a new UFC hat. This UFC hat's pretty dated, a little bit tethered, and not tethered, but it's like a little bit tanned from, you know, being a white hat and everything. But I went to the merch booth. You guys can see what's up with that. There's a little pop in there. Got some pop in the bag. Went over to the table, and the hats were all too small, snapback style. They don't make them bucket fit anymore. They kind of make them, they don't really make them low brim, but they don't make them deep bucket style anymore. So if I was to buy a snapback there, I got this one. Oh, you know what? I misremembered. I'm getting old. I have this one on like the 4th pop. Like I got 4 of them in there. There we go. I got 4. To where the other ones, I had to put them at like a 2. So I just wasn't comfortable with that. They're all 35 bucks. They had a couple really cool designs I was looking at. But then this, 15 bucks. I can't touch this for 15 bucks. You know, I probably could online. But I got the Connor pop, and he's doing that $1 million stroll that I was doing in my UFC belt GIF that they recorded of me with the UFC belt. So I took a selfie with the belt, and super stoked to get this. So now I have my favorite pop and my second favorite pop, which is my Nacho Libre pop. And my collection's complete until I maybe get the original Connor pop. But they had all 3 of these there. They had the Khabib. Right there's Khabib, and then they got the GSP. But this Connor one is just freaking love it. So what up, Steve Finch? I know we talked about this. I had a good time talking to you, buddy. All the best to you and your mom. Love you guys, really. Think about you guys a lot. Wish you guys the best and everything. So yeah, DK's got his two pop collection. That's all I need. So that's that. Actually, let's rip this out. I've been waiting to do this recap so that I could get this taken out at work. I don't know why I'm trying to show this in the box. This is going on my desk at work. So yeah, here's the Connor pop with the stroll. See how he's got the stroll pose. Walking forward like the $1 billion stroll. Taking a fall. So yeah, there's the tats on the chest. Got the green shorts. And tattoo on his upper shoulders and down his spine. So yeah, man. Not a big pop fan, you know, kind of reminds me of the Beanie Baby craze, but hey, I'll play the game. Look, I'll get a couple dollies. What's the big deal? What's the big deal, huh? Get the DVD. Anyways, that's it, guys. Thanks for hanging with me. If you made it through to the end and you saw my pop, say, hey, I saw your pop. It means that you hung with me all the way through the 18.5 minutes. That's it. Looking forward to doing my TTM recap and my purchase recap. I even have more left, man. I got, what is that, the podcast? I got the podcast haul. I won a what is that damn thing? Autographs Anonymous. I won the Fanatic Feedback giveaway like 6 weeks ago, maybe. And then I got this purchase of Michael Bisping PC stuff. That's it, guys. Thanks for hanging in there. Take care, and hopefully see you in like an hour after I'm done eating that taco salad. See ya.